Hello guys, I got some messages, people appreciating me using this tactical board to try to show how Galatasaray are playing and so on, so I'll still continue using it. I also got some feedbacks that my thumbnails and my logo is not the greatest, so I will try to improve there as well. And sometimes, you get this tunnel vision where it is very difficult to see your own mistakes and weaknesses, so I really appreciate getting feedbacks where I can improve or whatever you want to say, because it really helps me. Before we go into the Göztepe game, I want to talk about Lucescu, who passed away, who won the third star for us, who won the Super Cup against Real Madrid, which is a legend for us. My dad was a huge fan of him. I was too young to see how he did specifically for us. But seeing what he did for Besiktas, what he did for Shakhtar Donetsk in the league and in the Champions League, my dad could not really get over how Galatasaray let him go, and he always said, "Look what he did for Shakhtar Donetsk. That could have been us, winning the league title so many times, doing so well in the Champions League and so on." So may Lucescu rest in peace. Going into the Göztepe game, we started in a 4-2-3-1 formation as usual. First, after the Trabzonspor game, I said Okan Hoja was the mainly to blame on because of his planning. In this game, I want to give him creds because he changed so many players. We started with Uğurcan Çakır in goal, Sasha Boye as right back, Sanchez and Singo as centre backs, Eren Elmalı as left back, Lemina and Ilkay as central midfielders, Asprilla as a number 10, Sané and Salai as wingers, and Barish on top, benching players like Jakobs, Torreira, Icardi, Yunus Akgün, Noah Lang, which we need to give creds for to Okan Hoja, and starting with, for example, Asprilla. I want to quickly show on the tactical board here what Galatasaray did different, not just in the formation, but also how we were in possession. We play like this 3-1-2-4 with Davinson Sanchez as a center back. Sasha Boye, he didn't go so much in attack because often Sané or Asprilla was wide and high. Singo as the other center back. Lemina was more like this defensive midfielder. He was more in the midfielder room here, because often he has dropped, for example against Trabzonspor, but he dropped very low, where it was just Torreira alone. I will show that because I showed it in my previous video. İlkay Gündoğan as this left center midfielder, Asprilla as this right center midfielder, but he switched often with Sané, as we saw, because Sané was often in this room playing people through and so on. Sané here or Asprilla, Barış Alper, Salai, and Eren Elmalı as that other wide and high winger. Against, for example, Trabzonspor, if you guys remember, we played something like this where Lemina dropped down here. Torreira was completely alone. Yunus Akgün was too high. And we were just a total mess. And to see that Okan Hoja really saw that, I'm not trying to say that I saw it, I think everybody saw it, but to completely leave this central midfielder alone and be so high with the rest of the players, it just can't work. You see the room here. So to see that we played more like this, controlling the midfielders, the midfield with Ilkay, with Asprilla, going much lower than, for example, what Yunus Akgün has done lately, and that Lemina kept his room here. He went so much here to support the defenders, and he did make those triangles with the center back. Or if Uğurcan Çakır played to Lemina here, he could often find, for example, Sanchez here, who could play it to Ilkay or Asprilla. So it was just I think possessionally, with the ball, we were much better in this game um, than the Trabzonspor game. The first goal came from a set piece, but before that set piece, I don't want to talk too much negative about Icardi because many people are doing it right now, and I get it because he's not in form whatsoever. But on that first goal, before that set piece, look how Barış Alper is fighting there. The one thing is, he doesn't necessarily win that duel against Göztepe centre backs, but to be there and make a mess, make some chaos there, trying to fight there, means that Göztepe can't just attack straight away. It means that our team can go up on the field, and that's how Salah is winning the ball, because Barış Alper is giving the time to our players to get up, to get our players up. If that had been Icardi, you never know, of course, but I believe that Göztepe could just attack straight away. So yeah, Sané with a fantastic cross to Barış Alper on that free kick, which is just, we need this type of goals. How important set pieces are especially in this modern football. Look at Arsenal, how many goals they are scoring from corners and set pieces. And we need to remember that goals are changing games. So to get one goal there will completely change the game, and it did it for Galatasaray, because in that first half we dominated it. We could have scored so many goals with Salah. Yes, Göztepe had one huge chance with Arda Okan, but that was from our own mistake, where Salah is losing the balls. But we scored straight away from that situation. One thing, because I saw the game replay, was that we tried to attack straight away when we won the ball with Uğur Çakır, or when Göztepe was in attack, because Göztepe, as we know, are a very defensive team. They're one of the teams in the league that has the less possession. They are one of the lowest in the league with possession, and they're a very defensive team. So to break them, you need to attack quickly when they're attacking, and we tried to do it. We didn't score from that counter on the second goal, but again, another thing is that Ilkay, when he dropped a bit lower, and Lemina was in that room as well, created space for Ilkay to get the ball, taking the ball up with him, up to Salah, and Salah flicking it back to Ilkay, and he tried to cross, but it deflected and went inside there. I'm just so glad to see Ilkay Gundogan not only as that number 6. I grew up with him, where he was like, when I played midfielder myself, and he was just a huge inspiration for me. I remember Ilkay Gundogan, his games for Dortmund against Real Madrid, for example. I know that's 12, 14 years ago or something, but he was more like, this engine where he run up and down, took the ball up with him, and I haven't liked how he played for us. And he wasn't just like that in City last year either, where he just got the ball, played it, didn't run so much. Ilkay Gundogan is fantastic with ball, but he's never been this Busquets or Pirlo player. So to try to make him as that player, not even Modric is that kind of player either. So to get him higher up on the pitch, try to run with the ball, because he can still do it. He's still got his football IQ, of course, and he's just a huge asset there. Very good game by Ilkay. But for me, my man of the match was Lemina. He was just amazing in this game. Again, not dropping too low and showing, his skills with the ball, and how many times he, for example, found Sané in the final third there. He was the player often who played him through there, and it would have been much more difficult to do that if you're dropping too low. We remember against Trabzonspor, but when he tried to find Yunus, it was like 50 or 60 meters from Yunus to Lemina. But now when Lemina is higher up on the pitch and Sané is dropping a bit lower, it is suddenly 20 meters, and it's just so much easier to find him there, and it's just so much difficult for the defenders when you are closer to each other. Sané, talking about Sané, it's so hard to predict. He's always playing on these margins, and he can do something, the most incredible thing to totally make a mess for us. He could have, he should have probably had 2 or 3 assists today to Salah, but he could have also given 2 or 3 goals to Göztepe. I just don't think that's acceptable, to have a performance like that. I get that he's a risky player, but you can lose the ball up on the field, but to lose it in those deadly situations, you can't accept that. Because if we had faced a better team, it would have been goal conceded. Or, Göztepe is a very good team. We need to mention that. Göztepe away, I think that was their second loss in the league at their own field. They're a very good team. So we can't just say, Galatasaray, we just won this game and blah, blah, blah. We didn't play so good in the second half. I would talk about the second half. The first 4 or 5 minutes, we were actually very good. We had the possession. But then they scored this goal out of almost nothing. And then we started to panic again. Same against Liverpool, actually, away at the Anfield. The first 3 minutes or something, we started very well, and then they scored, and then we just were completely out of it. Because I remember the Liverpool game at Anfield, where Noah Lang and Sané came in, and we were able to keep the ball a bit higher up on the pitch, but then we were totally finished when they scored that goal. You can't break down so much mentally when you're considering a goal. If you're 1-0 down or 2-0 down, football games can change so quickly. So you need to be there mentally all the time. But on Göztepe's goal, first of all, Asprilla, he is not close enough on the winger or on the cross. Be closer there, because if he dribbles past you, okay, that's happened. But it's almost better to get dribbled past than letting him cross and get all the time in the world to cross. That's so dangerous. If you're getting dribbled past, that winger, he needs to cross it in, with speed, and that's much more difficult than letting him just stand with the ball and crossing it and not getting pressuring on you. And then it's too easy, to concede that goal from the header. The way Singo is there, if you look at that goal in replay, he's not even jumping. He's just, Singo is also a very difficult case, man, because he's clearly not good enough as the center back in a 4-back system. He's this perfect center back in a 3-back system. He can play right back as well. He does that very well. But it's a very difficult case, Singo. I don't think he had his best game this game either. On the counter-attack where Sané is losing the ball, it's difficult to blame Singo there, because it's like 90% Sané losing the ball where Göztepe could have scored an open goal. But if you look at that as well, how Singo is facing, it's just his body shape is totally wrong there, because he needs to have his head towards the Göztepe player, but he's trying to turn a bit and then he's just totally out of it. I recommend watching that again as well. But then we scored a 3-1 goal from a corner, and that, then the game was finished with Lemina's goal. And again, the corners just so important, the set pieces. So it was a very important victory, very difficult game, of course. On the 2-1 there, Göztepe could have easily scored, especially on, as I said, that 100% chance. But again, it's not always so important how you win those games. I feel the first half and the first 2-3 minutes, no, 4 or 5 minutes of the second half was very, very good, and or at least very positive. So I'm glad and just happy with the 3 points. I just quickly want to mention Okan Hoca. He's really, really hyped right now. He's very, as you're seeing how he's talking in the press conference, on the interviews, he's very, very motivated right now. He is mentioning the Kocaeli game, which we are facing on Sunday. He said the Kocaelispor match is a very important game. We must not forget what was done to us in the first half at Kocaeli Stadium, what their president did to us, and the statements he made about our club. We will prepare for this match in the most correct way. What Okan, I think, it is very good. I can't lie, I really like when Okan is saying these kind of things. But sometimes, when you're so motivated, it is sometimes so dangerous when you're so hyped that you are going to fall as well. Because when you're too hyped on something, it is very easy to do mistakes. But I think it's to the players actually, and to the fans, of course, but especially to the players, because our players has been used to not being so serious in the league. Sometimes they're not mentally there, but I think Okan Hoca really think about them, trying to fire them up. Kocaelispor, the way the things they posted on social media, the what they did after the game with this song where they cursed on us. Kocaeli, I don't want they to be honest, I don't want they to get so much publicity either. It reminds me a bit of, Rizespor when they were suddenly our biggest rivals, when their presidents had some, statements. They are usually winning on it, Kocaelispor, Rizespor. But I think this is some mental thing by Okan Hoca that he really tries to aware our players. And as I said, I like it. Another thing Okan Hoca said was, and this annoys me very much as well. One of our friends keeps taking the squad from inside Galatasaray and giving it away. Squads keep coming and constantly, especially Kaya Temel, a journalist. I'll name him too because I'm extremely disturbed by this. A huge betrayal is being committed against Galatasaray. First of all, this Kaya Temel thing, if I need to say something about that, is that I can't blame him, to be honest. Yes, he's a Galatasaray and a Galatasaray journalist, but he's just doing his job. It's much, much worse who is giving out information to him and others. So, yeah, I really dislike when this are happening. And not only this, especially in the transfer window, when we know everything, what shoes the player we want are using, for example. I'm taking it too far, but I'm so tired of it that things are keeps getting leaked by some, I don't know who. Is it players? Is it the hairdresser? Is it the agents? We don't know. Is it some from the coaching staff? Or take them away, fire them, because that's not acceptable. Is it a player? I don't know, man. But we need to get that away quickly. So, yeah. I'm glad that Okan Hoca is very fired right now. You saw it in the game when Barış Alper got that yellow card, how he laughed. I don't know what mental state Okan Hoca is in, but I hope it is in a state where he really wants to win. And I heard, from the reporters that yeah, he couldn't, he saw that, for example, against Besiktas and Fenerbahce game, that it was added on so many more minutes than the Galatasaray Trabzonspor game and so on. But as I said in the other video, that we can't be surprised of it anymore. We know that they don't want us to play, but I'm glad that Okan Hoca has a fire under his belly. So yeah, that was it, guys. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button, and as I said, comment down below if you want to give me some feedbacks, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.